Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the BRSCC Fiesta Junior Championship Open Day live here. And once again, I'm back with Laura. Laura, we had a cracking first session, didn't we? Did you enjoy yourself?
We did. I've really enjoyed myself so far, yeah. I've moved rooms in the hope that my internet will be better this time.
Yeah, I'm still chucked away up in the attic up here, which is nice. But look, we've got so much coming up, haven't we? We've got another cracking session now. We're going to have a live Q&A very, very shortly. So do get your questions in below. If you have a question, now is the time to comment. Do get the questions in. Best places. We are broadcasting all over. A number of places on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, etc. Best places, BRSCC on YouTube and my supercar on YouTube. Comment there. We'll pick them up there. The BRSCC Facebook page and the Fiesta Junior Facebook page and my supercar. They're the best places to get to guarantee that your comments will be seen as well. We'll keep checking the other pages wherever you're watching from as well. They are the main places to comment. Get your questions in because we've got some fantastic guests coming up. Before we get to that, though, Laura, we did catch up, didn't we, with another driver. Actually, we did speak to Dylan Hodgkin a little bit earlier. And here's what he had to say. We've got a little video to play you now. And I'll intro it and lead you in, Laura.
No.
Right, hello, everybody. Welcome back and welcome to another Fiesta family feature here for the BRSCC Fiesta Junior Championship Live Open Day. I'm delighted to say we're joined by another very special guest. It is Dylan's with us, Dylan Hodgkin. Dylan, how you doing, my friend? Are you well?
Yeah, I'm all right. Are you?
Not too shabby, I have to say. Laura, would you like to take it away with Dylan? Ask away.
No. Dylan, do you want to tell us how you got started into racing? Where did you come from before you joined juniors?
Well, I used to be, I did like karting before. I used to race in X30 Junior, and then I got an opportunity to do the Rock Challenge. And
wow.
I went and did the Rock Challenge for a year with Super One. And we made it to the finals in Italy, and yeah, so it all started. And then after that, we got an opportunity to go into cars, and we took it, and we went the BRSCC route.
Very sensible choice indeed, Dylan. So you come with quite some pedigree then. It seems you certainly know what you're doing behind the wheel, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. So you say you got the opportunity to move into obviously cars with the Fiesta Juniors. Why the Fiesta Juniors though? How did that opportunity come about?
We got like spoken to by Jam Sport when we went to like their finals, and they encouraged us. They said it was the best route, and we think it's the best route. It's the best route we've taken.
Oh, great.
And yeah.
Good man. So obviously, Dylan, we've got quite a hectic schedule this year. Where are you most looking forward to going racing? Which circuit has jumped out at you this season and think, yes, I can't wait to get there?
Defo Cadwell. I was a bit ashamed when it got taken off the list, but it's come back on again. So we've got double. So I'm kind of excited.
I think you'll go well at Cadwell. It's a bike track originally, isn't it? Actually, but very. A real driver's circuit, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good, man. What's the expectation for you this season, Dylan? Obviously, like I said, you come in probably with, you have your own probably high expectations, and rightly so. But what are you looking to achieve this year?
We're achieving to make it in the top three. We're hoping for the best, and I'm hoping I get pole on a couple of them. But let's see what it brings, doesn't it? See if we can make it or not.
That's it, exactly, and it's just take it race by race, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah. What's a long-term goal for you, Dylan? Where do you sort of do you want this motorsport to be a full-time career for you?
Yeah, I do. We're hoping to get into touring cars and do a bit of touring cars. That's what I'm hoping. But if it doesn't work out, I still run a track car and just do a bit of work and yeah.
Good, man. It sounds like you have a big future in motorsport. I think, Laura, Dylan is certainly going to be one of the drivers to watch this season. What do you think?
I think he is, and I must say, Dylan has had his livery redone this year, and the car looks fabulous, lovely, bright.
I'd love to see that. Should have got a picture. I could have shown it. Fantastic stuff. Dylan, look, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy man. You've probably got a lot to crack on with ahead of Croft this month. It's going to certainly be very, very exciting. I can't wait to see you trackside, mate. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be getting in everyone's way, probably. Yeah. So just tell me to go away if I'm getting in your way. I won't be offended, I promise. No, you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say no, Ian. No, you're more than welcome. Cheers, Dylan. Look, thanks so much for your time, buddy. It's great to chat to you. I'll see you very, very soon. We're going to go to a very, very short break before we bring our next member of the Fiesta family in. We'll see you in a minute. There we go. Fantastic stuff. That was filmed earlier as well. Just have to let everybody know. And talking of actually Dylan's new car, we've had a bit of love for Dylan already on social media as well. Sarah Edenbrow's commented saying, "Yay, go Dylan. Can't wait to see your race in your new car." How cool is that, Laura?
Very cool. Lovely.
Now, I did lead into there, didn't I, with talking about the Fiesta family. If you didn't see it earlier, we caught up with a number of the drivers for the Fiesta Junior Championship in 2021. Do go back and check that session out. It is live. It's still there now, and it's going to stay there on the BRSCC Facebook page and the Fiesta Junior Facebook page as well, and YouTube channel for the BRSCC. So do go and check that out. It's really, really worth a watch. And of course, talking of the Fiesta family, we also had another little chat as well, didn't we, Laura, a little bit earlier today? One of our star guests, we had a certain Mr. Bobby Thompson, a bit of a Fiesta Junior alumni, isn't he? Of course, raced in the British Touring Car Championship last year. And here is what Bobby had to say to us. Right, hello, everybody. And as you can see, we are joined by, I like to call him racing royalty. It's Bobby Thompson. Bobby, how you doing, my friend? It's good to see you.
It's great. Thanks for having me. Say a bit of... Oh, sorry, boys.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to have you on it. It really, really is, Bobby, because I know that you very heavily involved with the Fiesta Juniors, obviously in your youth, and now today as well. You're doing a bit of driver coaching with the Fiesta Juniors, aren't you?
Yeah, so I learned a bit about the car myself when I was around about 13, 14 years old. Although it was a short time in Fiesta Juniors, I've been able to carry that on and coach the drivers of today. I've worked with many of them that have moved on through the series over the last couple of years. And it's great to see, the Fiesta Juniors having a great platform for drivers to start in tin top racing, front wheel drive racing, moving on to other things.
So let's cast your mind back to when you were sort of 13, 14. Not that long ago, though, Bobby, of course. It wasn't that long ago. Tell us about your experience of driving with the Fiesta Juniors.
They're a difficult car to drive. They've had so many different rule changes over the years. It's almost quite different in terms of tyres, speed, with restrictions. I think at the moment we've got the best package going into 2020 this season, 2021. The car's the right speed with the right amount of grip. Now we're on quite a good Goodyear tyre, so it's absolutely perfect. They're very hard to drive. They're quite easy to be on the pace with, but to find that last second, you have to work really hard with these kids, and some of the young ones coming through are incredible at the moment. So really, sort of driver ability is what really shines through then, and that's what we want, isn't it? Well, yeah, the cars are so fair between the whole grid. It's down to the teams to find the best setup quickly on a Friday, depending on what circuit and what the weather is. And for the young lads and girls to adapt to the circuit. They're limited of how much testing they can get in terms of circuits putting on junior days. So it's it's a big jump on a Friday for these guys to jump in and get on the pace quick. So the true top drivers shine to the top quite fast. Absolutely. Now, Bobby, you're one of many actually successful Fiesta Junior alumni. Shall we say? What got you into motorsport originally? Have you always been into it from a very young age? Yeah. So my granddad started racing doing speedway and bikes actually in the 70s, something like that. Yeah. Just on his own, fancied having a little go. Then obviously had my dad and my uncle, my cousin also, just to add, raced in Fiesta Juniors as well. He won the championship, I think, in 2016, 2017. So not too long ago. Yeah, he done better than I did in Fiesta Juniors. So yeah, my dad's raced, my uncle's raced, and the natural progression is obviously for me and my cousin to take it on and start racing ourselves.
Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. Now, obviously from Fiesta Juniors, you've had a very successful career. Last season, you're in the British Touring Car Championship. I've got a nice little picture of you there. Look, Bobby, look at that.
Lovely. Look at that. It's one of the good ones, isn't it? There's plenty worse than that.
Yeah, but we're not going to show that. Right. What's in store for you this year, Bobby? What's on the cards?
It's hard. I've announced a couple of months ago that I won't be racing due to COVID. A lot of sponsors pulling out, but there is some things in the pipeline potentially to some last minute things to try and get on the grid or a grid. Again, trying to find backing and funding at the moment is ridiculously hard with what's going on in the world. So yeah, we're just pushing as hard as we can to drive something. Alongside that, I'm going to be doing a lot of coaching. I've got a lot of drivers in Fiesta Juniors across all other series as well, kids and adults. So that's keeping me incredibly busy at the moment.
Good man. That's what I like to. Actually, Bobby, I've got a question for you. Actually, having raced in the touring cars and obviously raced with the Fiesta Juniors, they're often likened to mini touring cars, the Fiesta Juniors. Would you agree with that? Yeah,
definitely. I like going back to what I said earlier. How close all the cars are, similar to touring car. Cars are so close. It's not a series where the whole grid's spread out quite far. All the kids are quite close together. So that aspect, brings it back to the touring car thing, and also just how the weekends run as well. These guys don't get much practice, and it's straight into qualifying, just like the touring car stuff. So the guys have to up their game straight away as soon as they get to the circuit.
And when you're coaching them, sort of how receptive are you? I mean, I always think, at 14, I've said this a few times, at 14 years old, I wouldn't even know where the pedals were on a car. Are you impressed with the talent that's on show at 14 years of age to be able to drive these cars? Yeah. Oh, I don't know what the speeds are doing around Brands Hatch and Cadwell and stuff. It's quite impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's incredible. The amount of times for me, it was Will Walton last year. Turned up to our first day. He was like this little dot in a seat with a helmet. And we sat in, and it's your first day. You don't know how much they understand, how much they know. And within him pulling out the pits, Brands Hatch, and driving up to the first hairpin, turn 2, I knew that I had a lot easier day than I thought when there was this little kid putting his helmet on.
Fantastic stuff. Like I said before, Bobby, you're a big success story of the Fiesta Juniors. We do appreciate you coming on. Obviously, we've got a lot of sort of juniors watching this now, thinking of making the step into racing. They might be doing karting, they might be doing autograss, or they might not have really done anything. It's still looking to make the grade. What advice would you give to, say, a 13, 14-year-old looking to step into the Fiesta Juniors?
From someone from a different background, I'd say take the chance. Amount of guys, like you just said there, they'll either stay in oval racing or stay in grass track and want to jump across the circuit racing and put their first, step on the ladder to potentially go to touring cars or GT racing. There's other choices of junior championships out there, but for your money and for what you get, I think you can't beat Fiesta Juniors in terms of the car, the fairness, the teams. Or even if you're running the car yourself, I work with some guys, the dads run the car themselves, and it's not incredibly hard at all. So it's a real accessible championship, and everyone else in the championship is friendly. There's no animosity between the drivers. On a Saturday night, you see all the guys playing around together. So it's a fun championship.
Fantastic, Bobby. Thank you so much for joining us today. And by the way, if anybody is watching this and wants to have a chat with Bobby, potentially about getting involved in a sponsorship deal or something, what's the best place to get hold of you, Bobby?
Generally, all my social media platforms, just Bobby Thompson or Bobby T, you'll be able to find me.
Top man. Thank you so much. Right, so we're going to let you crack on, Bobby. Really, really do appreciate that. And we're going to get back to the live BRSCC Q&A session. We'll see you in a minute. Do you know what, Laura? Well, so I was watching that. I forgot that we recorded that earlier, and I was like nodding my head along to it, going, "Oh, that's really interesting, Bobby." It's weird, isn't it, watching yourself like that? Right, we do have the live Q&A session coming up very, very, very shortly. We do have Paul and Greg just waiting in the wings. However, actually, before we bring them up, we do have another very special guest to bring in as well, and I know it's somebody very important to you as well, Laura. I can see Peter Daly is down at the bottom as our chairman of the BRSCC. Now, we were going to bring him in about 6 o'clock, sort of as we were getting into the Q&As, but he's here now. So I think, Laura, I know you want to have a couple of words with Peter and say a big thank you. So, Peter Daly, we're going to bring you up now. So just be prepared. Here is Peter Daly.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Peter.
Hi, that was interesting. I'm really good. Thank you. I've got a sort of a big smile because I picked up my championship trophy, which amazingly is just here. I don't know how it ended up there. That was for last year. But I've had I'm at Mallory today racing. Racing's for everyone, the 14-year-olds. And you know what? The guys that Laura, your Fiesta Juniors, they're fabulous. And I'm here at Mallory Park today. When I was 14, I lived next to the church over there. And I just used to look and think, oh, one day I want to be a racing driver. And I fulfilled that dream at the really young age of 39. So, you know, I saved a lot of money. Well, I didn't actually, but, you know, I blew
There's
it.
time
but,
for me yet then, Peter. There's time for me yet. I'm 35, so I've still got 4 years to just chill out.
Yeah, but, you know, but today's been our first round of the Super Classic Northern Formula Ford Championship. We've had 20 guys out, really enjoyed themselves. We have 5 classes. And I've destroyed 2 cars, but apart from that, we've had a great day. I wrecked my gearbox this morning. Something's not right with it, and then I was very, very lucky. Lorna, my partner who races, she said she did race 1, I did race 2, so I came in early in race 2 because we'd got no power, so I'd done something to get rid of all the power as well. But racing's all about winning and taking part. But anyway, no, great. Thanks for putting me on early because they're all packing up at the moment, and. Yeah. Laura, how are you? Oh, Laura Payne, racing driver.
Yeah, soon to be.
Well, no, you've got the license, and I think I sent you a text when you said something about how nervous you were, and I said it'll be a piece of cake because if you're doing something you really enjoy, you will be very nervous, but don't worry about the nerves because it's what you got out of bed to do.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Thank you.
No, actually, I know, Laura, you wanted to thank Peter, didn't you, for getting him on? Because, Peter, you've played a big role in the juniors over the last couple of years, haven't you?
Yeah, my role as chairman of the BRSCC, I'm there just to offer support for various places and some, I don't want to say leadership because it's being led brilliantly from within now with the guys we've got, you know, with Mandy, Greg, Graham and Paul McCurley and the team at HQ plus all the coordinators. But I help I'd like to think I help perhaps gel or I'm a sounding board. But I also sit on some committees at Motorsport UK, and one of them was the championships committee, and they issue yellow cards and, you know, the championship's not doing well enough. We've got to move on and whatever. And I was faced with a challenge there of convincing people that it's ever so easy to bin off something that's not doing very well. But my strong belief is you should only bin something off if you've given it everything, and it doesn't work. And you know what? It's a bit like home shopping. It's taken off, hasn't it? So we're seeing shops closed because I'm not saying race your Fiestas at home. Please don't. Only do it on a racetrack. But and so we sat down and Laura and the guys around Laura said, you know, what can we do? And they were throwing things saying, what about this? What about that? And the answer's give it a go. So we put some taster days together over at Brands, wasn't it? In 2019, was it?
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah. Before you were a racing driver, it was before. Yeah. And it worked. And we had a fabulous group of people come through. And I think, Laura, you can correct me if I've got the numbers wrong, but we finished 2019 with about 4 or 5 cars on the grid, and that was never going to survive unless we did everything. And you did a fabulous job. I think we counted the majority, 11, 12 new subscriptions, all new in.
Yeah.
Fabulous cars, self-built cars, lads and dads, girls and dads and mums, and some running with teams. And the teams are very supportive. And last year it was a fabulous championship. And in fact, forgive me because I have millions of names, but I think Mr. Loke, if I'm right, has now graduated to F4.
He has, yeah. We caught up with him earlier,
Yeah. Well, it's probably past his bedtime now. Did I say that out loud? but no. So when you say I played a part in it, I've just badgered and cajoled and driven Laura to deliver, basically, and it's Laura that's delivered it, and I've just said we'll support it. Well, let's do it, and it's going to be fantastic this year. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not unfortunately going to be at Croft because that weekend I'm actually somewhere else, but I am looking forward to catching up with all you guys at the next available race that I can attend.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
We're looking forward to catching up with you as well, and I wanted to bring you on because like Ian said, you've always believed in the juniors and seen the value in it, and I really appreciate that.
I do believe, and we've got several other juniors around. I know SMRC are going to start a junior championship based out of Knock Hill next year, so it's going to be Knock Hill centric, and then they might do one away round at Croft or Anglesey or somewhere, and I've actually been sharing some information with them because I'm very supportive of junior motorsport. The Ginettas, it's a fabulous championship as well, but it's a little bit out of, it's a high budget one for a certain part of the thing. But the one thing that we've got with our Fiestas is that we as the organisers, we're a club and we don't run cars. We're not influencing the championship. As a club, all of those Fiestas turn up. The teams have the talent. The mums have the talent, the dad has the talent. Some of them then, get driver coaches in, but it's a level playing field. So we're not doing anything with the cars. We're not technically involved other than sticking to the regs. And I think that makes our Fiesta Junior Championship a really level playing field.
Yeah, I agree.
Fantastic stuff, Peter. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy weekend. It certainly seems, doesn't it? So we better let you get packing then.
Brilliant. I'm going to go and shower, and I'm watching Lorna pack up, and then it's beer o'clock. Look, fabulous for putting this on. Good luck to all your guys this year, guys and girls in Fiesta Juniors, and really look forward to seeing them racing. Some of it on live stream as well, of course.
Most of it, yeah.
Most of it on live stream. We didn't have any telly today. We're not good enough.
So
see you guys later.
For a second.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Later.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much. We'll get rid of. We'll say cheerio to Peter. Actually, I was wondering if Leon Lane, if you could just take Peter out of the studio and take the Peter Daly down as well. My page is a little bit unresponsive in the back end. So that's Peter Daly there. Fantastic stuff. Great to see Peter. There we go. There goes Peter. And now it's actually time, a little bit later than we thought, for the live Q&A for the BRSCC Fiesta Junior Championships. Do get your questions in. We have seen the comments. They have been coming in as well. So Leon and Elaine, if you could bring up very special guests for this section, Paul McErlian and Greg Graham from the BRSCC. They're about to appear on your screen.
Hello, guys.
Here they come.
Hello.
There they are. Fantastic stuff. I'm going to have to exit that stuff. But yeah, guys, have you enjoyed what you've seen so far?
Yeah. So I particularly Peter's involvement there, which was, I think, primarily about his Formula Ford race. I did catch one or two Fiesta Junior references, but not surprising. We have regular conferences and get-togethers, and the strategic placement of trophies is consistent. When we talk to him at home, there's just a rack of them behind him.
You've got one as well there, Paul.
Sorry?
You've got one down there as well.
I've done mine on purpose too. Yeah, because I knew Peter was going to do it. So yeah, that's got some trust on that.
Hopefully next time I'll have one too.
Hey, we'll see.
Well, of course, yeah, you are going to be racing this year. Look, we're going to get into it because we've had quite a lot of questions come in. And we could be here till 10 o'clock at night if we go through it. To start off with, actually, talking of trophies, that you've led me in very, very well there, Paul. Thank you for that. Laura, this might be a question for you. We've had a question. When will the trophies be awarded for last season?
Well, actually, Paul might be able to shed a bit more light on that one. But I do know that we've got something planned for Croft on the 15th and 16th of May. Paul?
Yeah, I think there's nothing more to add to it. That's the plan. COVID's played a big part in making it difficult to do anything this year. Obviously, getting the trophies to people in a reasonable way has been challenging. So we've made the decision that will be at the first meeting up at Croft. And there's a little bit of activity going on, but we'll wait until then to see. But Croft is the date.
Yes, fantastic stuff. Look, we've also had another question. Sarah Edenbrow, just whilst we've literally been talking, has commented, will it be June the 21st when spectators can hopefully return to the track? So obviously after June the 21st, our fingers crossed, are we going to have spectators back this season to watch the Fiesta Juniors live at trackside?
It's a constant moving timeline, and everything that's set down in dates is a target date. There's nothing to suggest otherwise at the moment, so that's what we're all hoping.
I guess a lot of it actually comes down to the circuits, doesn't it? It's probably more of a question. I know certainly with Brands Hatch and Snetterton, etc. It's a decision that the circuits kind of have to make. If they're happy to open to spectators when it's legally able to do, it might be. That might be a better question actually for the circuits. Now, I do have a number of questions that have come in. We did go out on social media asking people to come in, and as you can see, I've got quite a few here to run through. Greg, we've probably got one that's more relevant for you. People are asking, with the Fiesta Juniors, the specification of the car. Can you give a little bit more information about the car that people need if they want to run in the Fiesta Junior Championship?
Yeah, the base car is a Mark 6 Fiesta ST150. The model was produced, manufactured, or sold in the UK from about 2004 to 2008. Now that might seem like quite an old car, but the mechanics of that car are still fairly current. So the 2004 to 2008 model, the underpinnings of that car are still very similar to the Fiestas that you see on the road today. They're durable, they're strong, they last forever, and they're cheap to fix when they do go wrong, or if you break one or bend one. Buying a donor car from the open market, you might find a donor car now for £1,500, to £2,000, a good one. Alternatively, there are pre-built race cars, a number of pre-built race cars out there available, should anybody be looking to get involved. Just referring back to what Peter said a little while ago, the club, we don't build cars, we don't sell cars, we don't. We specify them and we make sure that they're technically regulated. And as Peter said, one of the key factors of Fiesta racing is that we manage the technical regulations to make sure that all of the cars are equal, and it's the driving skill of the driver that takes the car to the front, not the fact it's got more performance. A ready-built race car is available at the moment on the market for maybe £7,000, £8,000. So it's it couldn't be classed as cheap, I don't suppose, but within junior racing and within saloon car racing, it's one of the cheapest entry points that you're going to get with that type of performance.
I think what I've been finding, Graham, is chatting to all the drivers that we did in session one. A lot of them are saying it's not actually much more expensive to step up to the Fiesta Juniors and go karting and just follow that route. So I think that's why perhaps it's proving very popular.
Well, when you look at the cost, the true cost of karting, it's far more expensive. If you want to be competitive at the front end of a karting meeting, it's way more expensive than being at the front end of a Fiesta championship race. And I've been involved in karting, junior karting as well, many years ago, and the costs can run away with that because there's a lot of differences in the levels of karts. There's a lot of differences in performance. The more money you spend, the quicker you'll go. We make a big point of technically regulating the cars, so they're quick, they're durable, they handle really well. But you stick a quick driver in the car that's running at the back of the grid, and he'll still be a quick driver. So the key for us is to manage the costs, keep the costs as realistic as possible, but to make sure that the cars are even throughout the grid.
So I suppose talking about that, because obviously cost is something that a lot of people have been asking us about in the lead up to this. We've mentioned how much it costs to get sort of a race ready car to go, etc. Can you find, if you wanted to do it yourself and you just wanted to say buy one off Auto Trader, and of course other places are available, what sort of cost, and are they easy to find? Can you pick up one of these cars quite easily these days?
The cars are out there. You know, if you go into Auto Trader, you'll find a 3-door Fiesta ST 150 of that age. You know, I'm not going to say how many there are out there, but they're definitely out there. They're not scarce. So yeah, the cars are out there, and it is absolutely possible with, I'm not going to say basic mechanical knowledge, but with a level of mechanical knowledge, you can build one of these cars yourself in your garage with your dad, with your parents. You know, if somebody that you know has got access to a workshop or mechanical facilities, then you can absolutely build the cars yourself. A lot of the parts to go racing on the cars are bolt on. So it's a case of taking the standard kit off, bolting on the new kit. The roll cage, the safety cage has to be welded. That's a specialist job. However, everything else is straightforward, you know, nut and bolt replacement to make that car a race car. So yeah, to buy a car as a donor car, to develop it into a competitive race car, absolutely you can do it yourself.
Fantastic. Very, very well answered. Right, so let me put this scenario to you. We've got the car, it's race ready, I'm ready to go, I've just got my yards. What do I do now? So I've just got my yards. What happens? How do I get in touch? How do I get involved? What's the route now?
That's where the BRSCC come into play, because we do this to facilitate all of these questions, to answer all of these questions. That's why Laura is coordinator of the Fiesta Junior Championship. Laura's the main focal point to answer any of these questions that anybody might have. And it is a really relevant question, because we get it all the time. You know, young kids or even older drivers get involved in racing for the first time, and they go buy the helmet and the suit and the car, and they turn up, they have no clue what they're doing or what they need to do. And that's where the club comes into play. We can answer all of these questions, you know, specific questions or general. It's what we do. It's why the club exists, is to facilitate people going racing. So it's difficult to answer each individual question, but that's why we're here. That there is a support network within the club to manage people from getting their ARDS test, getting on the grid, telling them exactly what they need to do, how they need to prepare, and then we manage the whole meeting from start to finish, and hopefully they go away with a big smile on their face.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure I do every time. I'm with you guys.
We're all involved in racing, and you know, some of us are a little bit older and getting to the end of our talent. I never had much of that to start with. However, we all do it for the same reason, and you know, people that are watching that might be, you know, thinking about getting involved in racing for the first time, as far as, you know, the junior championship. If you're sitting on that grid with the visor down, looking at them red lights, waiting for them to go off, you're no different to Lewis Hamilton or Ash Sutton. You've got the same feelings, the same nerves, the same excitement. You know, so why wouldn't you do it? And that never leaves you from 14, 15, 16 to 57, I think I am this year. I've stopped counting. That never ever leaves you. So get involved. It's the best thing you'll ever do.
Graham, I think you just hit the nail on the head. Why wouldn't you do it? I think that's the key phrase there, isn't it? Laura, this might be a question for you, actually, and Paul as well. There's a mini-series this year with the Fiesta Juniors, isn't there? We caught up with Ali Rushforth earlier, didn't we, in session 1? Do go back and watch it if you didn't catch it. It is still there on the Fiesta Junior Facebook page and the BRSCC Facebook page and YouTube channel. Do make sure you go back and watch it. And there's a mini series. There's a championship within a championship. Laura, would you explain more about that this year?
Well, as we heard from Ali Rushforth earlier, we're going to run a rookie trophy, and that's to encourage new people to come in halfway through the season. They'll still be eligible for the rookie championship cup. With regards to the mini series, we're running the mini series throughout the season with yourself, where you'll be at every single meeting, and then we hope to do some more programs like this, and to support our drivers and the championship and grow the engagement. Paul, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you covered it well there, but I think the reason why we looked at this was, you know, as a club, we're going to live broadcast quite a lot of events this year, and that'll be announced on Tuesday, more than we've ever done previously, and probably more than anybody else. We're just getting to the final parts of that. But what we wanted to show for the juniors in particular was, well, let me give you a number so this makes sense. When a competitor goes to a circuit, they're with us for the weekend, and if you break down the actual amount of time on track, which is everything that they're working towards, probably about 5% of their time with us, time at that circuit, and all those different processes, it's actually short of 5% is on track. So there's another 95% of things that go on that I think we looked at, and we wanted to share that. So I'm quite excited by the fact. I don't think it's going to be anything like Driven, the Formula One kind of thing, and I don't think we're going to have as many swear words as that one on the series on Netflix. Yeah, we definitely won't. But I think it's going to be quite exciting to give a behind-the-scenes look, not just for the junior driver themselves, but for the parents and for the sponsors. So to have you along for 7 events, I think we've got you booked down for. I think it's going to be really good and give that behind-the-scenes look. Just the going to assembly, the Pat Ferme, the cars being worked on, that. So yeah, it's something that's new for us this year, and I'm quite looking forward to it. Live broadcast, everyone's familiar with that now, and I don't want to kind of take the shine off it, but it is cars going around the circuit. And if you've been to a circuit before and you watch if you've watched a live stream at a circuit before, it kind of, for me, doesn't really make a difference what you're filming. It looks much the same. So to get inside the paddock, inside the awnings, and get some interviews with the drivers as they're preparing, I think that's going to be quite exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
And we want to also show for new drivers what to expect when they come in. Like, we've spoken to a lot of people that haven't done anything but before they've joined car racing, and we want to show them what to expect when they get there and what their families can expect and what a day at the paddock looks like, because it is so much fun and so exciting.
And it is important. It is really important that's for people watching. And as Paul referred to, there's only a little bit of time in a meeting that you spend on track. That's what you focus on, and that's what it's all about. But the time in the paddock, the time in that racing community, is something that you don't experience anywhere else. It is a real family feeling. It is a real, something goes wrong with the car, you're going to have 10 people trying to help you to fix it, to get you out, even competitors. So that's what, in club racing that people don't see if they're not involved with it. And the feature that we're going to do is hopefully going to open that up and show what a race weekend's like, not just 50 minutes on track. So it's hugely important. It is a community that you're joining. And
I think, Greg, that's absolutely spot on. And that's kind of what we were about. We actually got involved in this because I am a Formula One fan, but I get why people find it boring. And it actually, the best thing I think about watching Formula One coverage is Martin Brundle when he does his grid walk, and it's one man, it's a microphone, it's a camera, and there's no script, and it just happens. And that's when if you wanted to try and get an interview with Lewis Hamilton, you'd have to jump through his management company and say you have to jump through a million hoops, whereas he just goes and does it. It's just done there, isn't it? It's there and then. There's no rehearsal, there's no practice, it's just there, and that's what we want to bring out as well, not just in the assembly area, but behind the scenes, and see what it's like. Because I've been in so many paddocks, and when we did the Christmas party, Laura, in June, wasn't it, or July 2019, you don't get to see stuff like that. But we're gonna bring that to people so you can actually see what it's like, and you can see that it's not a place to be intimidated. A racetrack and a paddock is not a place to be intimidated. It's a place where everybody's friendly, and that's kind of that's what we're going to be bringing in 2021, and it's going to be a cracker. It really is.
And that's why we called our session earlier the Fiesta family, because that's what I called them, because when you're in the paddock, it's just one big family. And that's why we did Christmas in July, because of the race season, you don't get to spend Christmas together. So we wanted to spend Christmas with our Fiesta family, hence the Christmas party.
Absolutely. However, we can't ignore the fact that racing does happen in qualifying, etc. So we have had a question come in, and Laura, this might be one for you. Just talk us through the structure. What happens on a standard race weekend from start to finish? When do when do drivers arrive? Do you have practice? We know there's qualifying, races, etc. Talk us through what happens on a standard race weekend.
Generally, everyone arrives on a Friday. The tracks tend to put on a practice day on the Friday, but that's not mandatory. And then we're around to welcome everybody. We normally have a paddock plan so that everybody knows where they are and what they're doing and where they need to go. On a Saturday, we always have practice and qualifying. And then on the Sunday, we have the race 1 and race 2. And we're really lucky that we've got the practice sessions in every Saturday. And we think that's really important because the juniors are still learning. We want to encourage them to learn and to grow and improve. And that's what that practice session is all about. And thank you to Paul for making sure that we have those practice sessions in our calendar because they're really valuable, especially for those people that might not have been to that circuit before because they're new into it.
That's a question, actually, because that's actually quite unusual, isn't it? I've worked with a lot of race series and you can have a practice session, but you normally have to book a track day in order to get that practice session. Paul, why was it so important to get a practice session in for the juniors?
There's a couple of things that obviously the main one is familiarity for the main part. We talk about the relative cost, expensive, inexpensive, but it's often difficult to get junior test sessions on the run up to a race meeting, and that's mainly driven by the circuits and the realization that they have an opportunity to sell more grid slots to let's say non-junior racers than they do juniors. So that can put quite a lot of stress financially on the competitor, the family, the sponsors to be, if you like, keep up. So we make sure that in the program that we put out there for the juniors is that every race circuit that we take them to, before we put them into a qualifying session, we give them a free practice session on that day as well. And we, the key to making sure that that's on that day as well is just in case there's any changeable weather conditions overnight, because we could give them, a test session sometime before that, which is a dry session, and then if overnight the next session is if you like, if it's the following day, we can have changeable weather conditions. So we always give them a practice session before their qualifying session, at least 2 sessions on one day and 2 on the other.
Yes, absolutely. And actually, sort of talking of that a little bit, am I right in thinking there are 2 race meetings over one weekend? Is that right, Laura? Mm-hmm. Why is that?
Do you want me to answer that one, Laura?
Go for it.
Okay, so I think overall COVID has changed quite a lot in club motorsport. The way we do things, the way we sign on, the way we're processed. But it made us look really hard at the race program this year because we knew, whilst we planned the calendar early on, we knew there was going to be some impact to it early on, and we kind of had a few options in our head. So when the first few months dropped off the calendar, we go back to this cost thing. We wanted to try and make sure that there was a sensible affordability model in it. So we look at a club racer as someone that can finance themselves to have a race, and then they need another payday, and then they can go and race again. We don't see the parents any different than the junior racer, because when we look at the junior racer, we actually look at the parents as the affordability model. Some are lucky with sponsors and some not so. So Snetterton is a first for us because we put them 7 events into their calendar and we spread them as sensibly as possible, not to put too much financial pressure on the parents or sponsors. But Laura was quite keen to see an 8th meeting in terms or an 8th set of events in their calendar. So we thought we would try something quite different. I think that the parents will be quite grateful because what we did, we designed the program so when they go to Snetterton, they're going to run their standard sessions through the course of a single day. They're still going to get their free practice. They're still going to qualify, and they're still going to have their 2 championship races. However, they're then going to overnight sleep on that, up in the next morning, and then we're going to repeat that qualifying and 2-race process. What that's done is, of course, there's a cost attached to that on our part, but instead of the parents or whoever trying to finance those 2 different meetings, 2 different weekends, and everything that comes with it, it's all bundled into one. And I think the second championship meeting is about 25% of the cost of what it would if they did it again. So they're going to get to race the rounds. They're going to get an 7-meeting championship in effect, but with 8 sets of championship races, but done over a weekend. So Snetterton's going to be hard work for them. Definitely one for the early night run-up week, because they're going to have 7. They're going to have 7 sessions in one weekend at what is a very fast circuit. So. I think we'll certainly see by Saturday morning to Sunday evening. I think everyone's going to be chipping the times away, because 7 sessions is a lot of time around Snetterton, especially when you're flat chatting them things. They know, these cars are limited, of course, we know that, and that's regulations that do that. But we all go around the corners at exactly the same speed. You only get the respite on the straights. So, junior driver, senior driver, the only difference is when they're going down the start finish. Once we get into the technical stuff, I would say in some cases these junior drivers are going around those corners quicker than anyone else, so they'll be tired. I think mums and dads will be pleased on Sunday, because they'll probably sleep all the way home.
And it is the Snetterton 300 as well, so you do have that middle section, so even harder work for them.
We thought we won't make it easy for them. We'll see how they survive. Look, if that works, COVID's brought that. We would have never looked at that. We wouldn't have to think differently, but we have with COVID. So we looked at it. The time was available. And we thought we'll see if it works, and if it does, it's something that we can look at in the future, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. We have had another question come in, and it's about sort of progression from the Fiesta Juniors. We know obviously there's the Fiesta Championship or the Fiesta Seniors, whatever the official title is. Laura, this might be a question for you. How many drivers do you see stepping from the juniors straight into the Fiesta Senior Championship? Because it's for 14 to 17 for the juniors. Are a lot of drivers going straight into the Fiesta Seniors, or are they going a different route?
Quite a lot of them do go into the Fiesta Seniors. I've been doing it for 3 years now, and we've had, I would say, at least a quarter of them go up into the seniors, or maybe more than that. It's because it's a great option to do that, because it's the same car. You don't have to go out and buy a different car. You can take the same one into the senior championship. So it kind of makes sense, and it keeps that value for money that we're trying to achieve as well. But obviously, a lot of our drivers also want to move up further into different championships, and with Joseph Loke going into F4, and we still support them doing that, because we're all about growth and improvement and progress, and we want to see our juniors do well. Quite a lot of them move into the senior championship when they're 16, and then move on to something like JCW Minis afterwards as well. So that's fine, but ideally we obviously want to keep them in the championship, but they do tend to stay with us, just like Bobby and Ollie, who we spoke to earlier. They tend to stick around anyway and help the new junior drivers and coach them. So
I suppose a question coming up for you in a second, Greg, actually, because we did speak to Ollie, didn't we? He went straight into Fiesta since after winning the title in 2019, didn't he? Now he's with the VW Cup and a race winner as well. In fact, won on his debut, didn't he? Fantastic stuff there. Yes. Incredible. Greg, a question for you then. If you're taking your Fiesta from the juniors and then you're going to take it to the seniors the next season, how much work do you have to do? Is it pretty easy just to get it to the regulations for the Fiesta Seniors?
It's a very, very simple process. Different tyre. So the wheel size, everything, the brake size, the suspension is the same from the juniors to the seniors. You've got a different tyre. We go from a semi-slick track tyre to a slick in the seniors. and there's a restrictor, a performance restrictor, which is just 4 bolts, take it off, and your car's specified for senior racing. The important thing isn't, for me, the difference in outright performance of the junior car versus the senior car, because as Paul said, through the corners, through the twisty bits, through the technical sections, a lot of these junior drivers are going just as quick as the senior cars. It's about the technique that you learn. So, people should, I've heard the question, why do you restrict it? Why should it not go as quick as the senior cars? And there are legal reasons for that I guess. But the technique that you learn driving a junior car and the skills that you learn driving the junior car, although a little bit slower, let's call it, these skills will last with you right through into seniors and right through after that. But in general terms, to swap from a junior spec to a senior spec, it's a case of different tires and taking a restrictor off, and your car's, absolutely competitive to go senior racing.
Absolutely, and actually, I've been fortunate enough to drive a number of race cars, and I've got to be honest, they're all exactly the same when you're going down a straight. Skill comes in the corner and braking and things.
Absolutely, yeah. And as Paul alluded to, the hard work as well. I mean, people don't realise the amount of effort you've got to put in to make a car go quickly around the circuit. It's a proper workout. It really is.
That's why I'm in front of the camera and not behind the wheel. Don't have to do as much.
Are you listening to all this, Laura, by the way?
I'm listening. I'm taking notes.
The ink's dry on the racing licence now, so you're going straight into it.
When's the debut, Laura? When's the debut?
I don't know yet. I don't know. Watch this space. Yeah. But I'm really pleased I've done it, because one thing that I've learned from doing it is that I know the path that those juniors are taking, and I now know exactly how they're feeling, which I think gives me a really good insight being the coordinator, because I can help them. Yeah.
Absolutely. And look, let's talk about being coordinator, because we there's a lot of work that the drivers have to do, obviously, to get the most out of the car, and it's a physical workout as much as it is mental as well. But being a coordinator is quite a job as well, isn't it, Laura? Chatting to Peter earlier, of course, he gave you a lot of support in getting the Fiesta Juniors to where it is today. When we first met, we came and did your open day, actually, in June 2019 at Brands Hatch, and there was only 6 cars on the grid. But since then, as Peter said, it's exploded. Just talk to us about the growth of the championship and the work that goes on behind the scenes that people don't get to see to get it to where it is today, because it's fantastic.
Yeah, well, the team have done a great job since 2019. Like Peter said, we've done a lot of work with taster days and social media, and just getting the name out there to people so that people knew it existed. People knew that we might have been a cheaper option than they first realised. And yeah, it's a lot of hard work, but we do it because we love it, and we're all into motorsport. We all love the racing and the race weekends, and that's why we want to see it grow. So yeah, we've done a lot of work with our social media and things like that, but it's a team effort. I may have my name down as coordinator, but the day that Greg and Paul and Mandy came in as the new team, it was fantastic, because we all work together and pull together, and we're in contact quite a lot. So yeah, thank you to them as well. So for helping us out.
Speaking of Mandy, where is she? Why is she not in? She hates.
I think she's got a date. She's got a date with a bottle of gin, probably. I know I'm going to regret saying that on Tuesday morning. Yeah. Half 7.
Do you know what, Paul? I was just about to say you said that. Nobody else said that.
I'm probably the only one brave enough, stupid enough. I'm not sure.
I think so. So. Absolutely.
There is just something. It's not answering a question that's been asked, but it's answering a question that I've been asked a load of times through whether Fiesta Junior or other championships. What level of expertise does it take for a lad and dad, lass and mum, whoever, the family, to support a race car over the weekend, over the race weekend? Because a lot of people are kind of scared of that bit, thinking that they need to sign up with one of the the teams, and they need to have 3 mechanics, all of that stuff, where you don't. There is, if you've got a basic level of expertise that you know how to jack a car up and change wheels, then don't fear going racing. If something happens to the car and it breaks, that happens to every racer, and sometimes your weekend's ruined, other times you can fix it. But you don't need a huge level of expertise to run a car over a race weekend. It's a case of checking tire pressures, making sure there's fuel in it, making sure the belts are tight on the driver, all of the basic checks. You don't need to know how to change a cylinder head or how to change, a brake disc. You can manage a lot of that stuff, and if you don't have that huge level, or if you don't have a huge level of expertise, there is always that in the paddock.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't think that you have to have a huge team of people around you. You absolutely don't.
Yeah,
if I can add to that as well, there's a number of ways that you can do it. I think that there may be a perception, just following on from your point, Greg, that you either do it yourself or you do it with a team, and those are the only options. But there isn't. There's a kind of hybrid. So if you want to run your own car, but you're not comfortable if you like at the meeting on your own, there are teams that will just take you in for the weekend and let you put the car under the awning, whether that's with some of their support or actually just renting the space in the awning. So there's a number of ways. The key thing is if you're interested and you're thinking of what kind of options are available, it's ring Laura, and there'll be a solution to each scenario. It's not you either have to do this or this. Mm-hmm. If you're confident that you can get the budget together to get the car, and you've got a motivated driver, we'll get you out, we'll get you supported.
Mm-hmm. And the point I was making there, or trying to make, and I didn't want to diss the fact that people are running with teams with expertise, because that, as Paul said, that option is absolutely available to you. Almost like you turn up at the circuit, go racing, and everything's been done. And some people are fortunate enough to be able to work within that system, but others are fearful of racing because they think they need that as a prerequisite, and you don't. It can be managed on a much simpler basis if you choose to do that. Absolutely.
I think the key word is accessibility, isn't it? Sorry, Laura, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I think I was about to say the same thing as you, to be honest. I think your original question was the growth of the championship, and like Paul and Greg have said, I think we've made that more obvious to people, and that's helped to grow the championship, because people didn't realise that they could do it by themselves, and that they didn't need to know everything about the championship before they joined, and that's helped to grow the championship. We had a lot of new independent people come in last year who were just lad and dad running the car, and we're really pleased with that. That's fantastic, and we want to see more.
I think just to add a final point, the growth was the perception of cost, and we have to accept that there is a number attached to it. So for some it's affordable, for some not so, and it's all relative. But I think there was this perception that Fiesta Junior racing was, in terms of the options, was quite expensive. And Laura, we sat down, and I think that until we actually dug deep into the numbers, you yourself wasn't entirely sure where we sat in that price. And through some very simple calculations, now this is public information, if you want to go out and do the research, look at registrations, look at race entries, we're actually the cheapest junior formula in the country. So it's the cheapest. If you're looking at doing a season, and that's not me trying to sell something, this information is accessible on websites. What does it cost to register? What's the cost of a race entry? If you add those numbers up and you do the comparisons, the perception, I think, was that we were expensive. We're actually the cheapest junior championship in the UK. So that once we started to communicate that and people could see that clearly, then it was, okay, all right. So then they start to explore the options. Well, how can I, and what kind of options are available? And then it starts to come. So, yeah.
I think we've had a very nice comment, actually, and high credit to you, Laura. Dean Webster has commented, and he says, Laura and Greg McElraith did a great job front of stage last year. I think we'd all like to say a massive thank you. So there you go, Laura. Make you blush.
Thank you, Dean.
He also asked, actually, how many drivers are ready to go for the Fiesta Juniors this year?
Well, we've actually had for this year, we've got 15 registrations. Unfortunately, they won't all be out at Croft. Jake Weston, for one, is moving house at that weekend. So he unfortunately...
What a weekend to pick that was.
I know. But yeah, we hope to see them all out at the other rounds in the season. So 15 registrations currently. But obviously... there's still people that come in halfway through the season, and we encourage them to do that. I've still got lots of people contacting me that want to join, and a lot of people would join halfway through the season to get ready for next year, or when they turn 14. If they turn 14 in June, July, they're still welcome to join us after that. So they use it as a bit of a practice ready for the following season. So
do you know what? That's a great point, actually, Laura, isn't it, as well? And it may seem obvious because we're involved in motorsport, but if you're not involved, then you don't have to commit to a full season. You can just do the odd one here or there. You can just dip your toe in it, and like you say, maybe use a couple of sessions as practice for a full commitment in 2022.
Yeah, definitely. And we would, like I said, we would encourage people to do that. And I'm really pleased that we have got lots of people still asking, ready to join later on in the season. So hopefully that number will continue to rise.
It certainly will. Just remember as well, at any time, if you do want to find out more about the Fiesta Junior Championship, we've got the website right across the bottom. There is a link in the text accompanying this post as well. Just click it. It'll take you directly to the Fiesta Junior website on the BRSCC main page. I think one of the key things is accessibility. I'm hoping this year as well that our coverage will be able to get people involved and see that a little bit better. But of course, a lot of the races have been live streamed as well, isn't that right?
Yeah, I mentioned that before briefly. We'll make the announcements on Tuesday. We're just putting the final bits of the contracts together, but it's a substantial schedule across the entire portfolio, and yeah, it's the biggest schedule that we've ever put together. So, all being well, on Tuesday, we should be able to broadcast that and confirm that across social media.
Fantastic stuff. We'll certainly keep an eye out for that. Right, I think Neil Ferrier says it the best. Actually, he's commented in and saying, no better way to spend weekends away racing, and everyone at the BRSCC run a mega show. So high praise indeed. Greg, Paul, Laura, you must be very proud indeed.
Yeah, well, that's a comment from Neil, and I know Neil well because Neil's involved with one of the other championships that BRSCC run. He's a young lad that's raced a little bit himself. He's into motorsport heavily and highly, and there's 1,000 guys like him in the paddock that just live their life on the back of motorsport. It's what they enjoy, and they've all got the same motivation. We all want to see people getting involved and moving through it. And thanks, Neil.
Fantastic stuff. And of course, the first race weekend for the Fiesta Juniors is coming up, isn't it, Laura? Head to Croft, don't we? Where else are we going this year?
So Croft, 15th and 16th of May. We've got Cadwell twice, Snetterton. Oh gosh.
I'll tell you actually, 15th, 16th of May we're at Croft. 19th of June we head to Alton Park. Then we've got that double header at Snetterton, haven't we? 24th, 25th of July. Then Cadwell Park, the 28th and 29th of August. And then it's on to Donington, the 25th and 26th September. We round out the season at Cadwell Park, the 23rd and 24th of October. It's going to be an absolute cracker. It really is. Laura, thanks so much for all of your help today. I think you can go and relax now and have a nice cup of tea, because I know you love tea. Well, you might not even like tea. I just keep telling everybody you like tea.
I do love tea.
G&T. I think we're all going to go have one now, aren't we? Greg Graham as well. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Paul McCurley as well. Paul, thanks so much for your time. And yes, make sure you do keep up to date with all of the action that's happening on the BRSCC Fiesta Junior Championship. Just remember, the link to the website is in the body of this text. Do click it. Do go check it out. And if you have any questions at any time, do get in contact with us. You can contact us on Facebook. Laura's email address is actually on the website as well, isn't it, Laura? So they can contact you directly there as well. And we're going to round out just for one last time so you can have a little look at the action of what 2021 is going to look like on the Fiesta Junior Championship. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.